All right, I'm finally ready to talk about Resident Evil 8, or Village, or whatever it's called.
Ink Ribbon.
Now, as far as just general opinions, I watched Scorpion and Sphere Hunter and Residents of Evil. All of their videos kind of are on the same level, more or less like what we. Oh my god, I don't know how to say this. Look, I like it. Okay, that's it. I like it. I approve. Now, I'm actually really excited about it. Not anywhere near as much as the classic Resident Evil games, because let's be real, it's its own thing. But here's the thing. Resident Evil 7 was really good. No one ever said it was bad. It's just that it wasn't Resident Evil, right? Well, I think this game is addressing that by bringing in Chris, which I will get to Chris in a second. But bringing in Chris, bringing back Resident Evil 7 characters that were kind of throwaway. I still don't know if Ethan is going to even have a personality or a head, because he didn't in 7, but I guess we will see. I mean, that game was really about you playing as him, and I don't know if it's going to be more of that from his perspective, because he doesn't have a personality, and honestly, I don't care either way. Like, it would be weird to force a personality onto him all of a sudden, but we'll see what they do. However, here's the reason that I'm really excited. So, when Resident Evil 7 was first being teased and announced, everybody was comparing it to PT, and rightfully so. I loved PT. PT, for those of you who don't know, was the demo for Silent Hills, which was canceled because Konami. But I have never had such an intense, amazing horror game experience with a demo of all things. So with Resident Evil 7, while it wasn't Resident Evil, it was really exciting, and that's why I'm okay with the werewolves and the witches and whatever, because it's exploring a new thing that we haven't gotten to do in Resident Evil. And let's be honest, eventually they were going to put in vampires and werewolves. I mean, it's right in the same realm as zombies, so, and with the whole aesthetic, I'm not really a big fan of the medieval European whatever is going on. There is a dog going crazy. All right, I'm just going to keep talking. I think it's kind of following the example of Resident Evil 4 with the aesthetics, which, is fine. That game was great. I don't think the environment had anything to do with its success, but whatever. And this is where I think the most interesting aspect of Resident Evil 8 comes into play. Silent Hill fans have been horribly neglected. Konami has destroyed the franchise and then abandoned it. And yes, I know there's rumors of a new Silent Hill reboot or whatever, but for me, that's a little too little too late, And then if it's bad, that's just... Ugh. So if you're a Resident Evil fan, imagine if Capcom did to Resident Evil what Konami has done to Silent Hill. How would you feel? And Capcom almost did. Things got really weird for a while with Resident Evil around the time Resident Evil 6 was in development, which is why we got Resident Evil 7. But I think with this new adaptation with Village, it's sort of a welcoming for Silent Hill fans. Like it's a safe space. Come to our horror game. We'll take care of you. And Capcom listens to fans. I don't know if you guys know this. It's one of the reasons I love them. But Capcom will literally go through forums. They will go through message boards. They'll go through YouTube videos, both Japanese and English-speaking countries, to see what gamers feel and what the consensus is. So when Resident Evil 6 came out, it sold very well. It made them a ton of money, but Capcom did not consider it a success because the fans weren't happy. And that is awesome. That is what game companies should be doing. And that's why we got Resident Evil 2 Remake. It's why we had so many things. And with that, here's where Capcom has put themselves in a weird place. Resident Evil 7 brought in a lot of new fans that were there for that experience, the same way that Resident Evil 4 brought in fans for the action experience. And now Resident Evil has divided itself into 3 or 4 different types of Resident Evil games. You've got your classic survival horror like Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, and then you've got your action base like 4, 5, and 6, and now we have the remakes, which are sort of a combination of the first two, and then we've got Resident Evil 7, the first person horror spook fests. So The way that I see the Resident Evil 7 first person stuff is that's just to scare the crap out of you. You know, it's to make you jump and scream. And let me tell you, Resident Evil 7 definitely did that for me. I would totally do a VR Let's Play if it didn't make me vomit. I could be completely wrong. I don't know. The only leaks that I've seen so far gameplay-wise are like the inventory screen, which I'm excited about because speaking of Resident Evil 4, it looks like it's got the same type of inventory, like with the attaché case where you can organize your items and then die and then get really frustrated because they're all messed up again. It's perfect for anyone with OCD. Now, story-wise, I know you guys don't really care about Resistance, but I do. When Resistance first came out, I was really annoyed with Daniel Fabrone, who's the Frenchman mastermind, and he's a new character, and I was like, oh god, he's so pretentious and so annoying. But over time, he's gotten kind of like endearing, and if you play Resistance, you know that you have like imitated him or tried to copy his voice or his lines because they're funny and amusing, because I have. General Munchie, nom nom.
General Munchie.
So for those of you who don't know, Daniel, along with Alex Wesker, are going to be in Resident Evil Village working together as bad guys. I don't know anything more than that, but they are in the game. Of course, Resident Evil Resistance takes place in around like 1998, so this is, I don't know how many years, more than a decade later, so they're going to be older, they're going to be more experienced, and it's going to be kind of cool to see that juxtaposition of going from the young masterminds to like them in Village and what role they're going to serve. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. And the last thing I want to mention is Chris. I am so relieved that they didn't go with Resident Evil 7 Chris. And I can quickly explain why Chris looked that way in 7. So in all the research that I've done for all my videos, I've learned a bit about how games are made these days. When you're going for full realism, which is what Capcom's been doing, they use a special type of photogrammetry and programming and a whole bunch of stuff to scan real-life people, because you can't get more realistic than scanning actual humans. But the problem with that is if they make anything, it doesn't mesh well with the real stuff, so they literally have to scan almost everything. Even with Nemesis, they had to create an actual full-size Nemesis and then scan him. So I don't know how that worked. With 7, the problem was they could not find an actor that looked like Chris, which I was very surprised that they couldn't, because I've seen pictures online of guys who could totally pass for it. But so I don't know if they just had trouble finding an actor or they just chose some random person who was available. But now with Resident Evil Village, they brought back the Chris that we have come to know, the Resident Evil 5 macho muscle Chris, whatever, I don't know. He changes looks in every single game.
Then I'm out of here.
So I'm really happy about that. I don't know how they did it, and I don't care. I'm just glad that Chris looks like Chris, although he seems... I can't tell if he's like really evil or just tired of their shit, but either way, Chris is like, ooh, it's kind of scary. Like, is he the new tyrant or something? He's gonna burst through a wall and kill you? But I will be buying this game when it comes out because I am a Resident Evil fanboy, and I will be playing it for you guys if I can figure out how to stream from PS5 by that time. And I'm excited. I'm always excited for a new Resident Evil game. It's cool to see where the series is gonna go. Nothing will ever replace the originals, and I've learned to stop expecting that because games are always evolving and changing. So I don't know, if you're someone who just instantly hates it because it's got werewolves or vampires, I encourage you to try to have an open mind, to try to experience what they're doing and enjoy it, because several times in Resident Evil games in the past, I've been so angry and I hated it, and then later on I went back to it and I actually really enjoyed it and I found it very high quality. So I don't know, I just want a game that's going to scare me, and since Silent Hill is dead, this is the closest thing we're going to get. So think of it like Silent Hill and Resident Evil combining. It's Resident Hill or Silent Evil, whatever. But that's all I've got to say about Resident Evil 8/Village, and I will let you guys know as soon as there's more information without spoiling anything, but there you go. After all of the messages, that's what I have to say about Resident Evil 8. I would love to know what you guys think about it, so please let me know down in the comments. I know that some of you guys are excited, some of you guys are very angry, but either way, keep it civil. But yeah, leave some comments. You can also find me on Twitter at InkRibbonGames, and feel free to join my InkRibbon Discord server. We've got a whole Resident Evil channel with constant discussion about everything going on. So until we have some more Resident Evil 8 info, I'm Kai Morgan, and as always, thanks for watching Ink Ribbon. And a very special thank you to my bronze, silver, and gold Patreon supporters. Thanks to you, I can make videos without worrying about demonetization and grow my channel faster.